Hi there, it's Di from Di's Den and welcome to another video. This week I'd like to show you how I made this card. Now I'm calling this a pop-up slider card. I've seen it done by a lady called Susan Campfield, but hers is obviously an American sizing, and so I had to adjust everything so that it fitted on this card. So I used the Supremely Awesome stamp set for this one, and I did this one for my colour creation, which was Cherry Cobbler. So it's a card that opens. You can have it this way, I guess, but we're doing it this way. And when you open it, the piece in the middle slides up. See, it sits up like that. Can you see that through there? See, it sits up like that, and it's just an awesome idea. So this is my one. And this, I love this set. It's called You've Got a Piece of My Heart on there. And I like the pizza man. I cut it, he doesn't come with a die. I cut him all out by hand. Putting the pizza on here. This is actually a stamp. I had to stamp it 3 times to get the size. It comes with this stamp here that says, "Together we make a deluxe combo," and these spoons and spatulas. So that's the size of the stamp, which is, if I measure this was 5.5 by half an inch, just under half, no, about a half an inch. So that's that. And then these were the bigger slices of pizza, which I did and cut them out by hand, and then I put You're Supremely Awesome. Now that was one word, and I just stamped one underneath each other, so I only inked up each section. And this stamp, this oval here, circle here, came from the Here's All That stamp set, which has got the scalloped edge, and I thought, well, that looks like a pizza crust. So I thought I'd do that, and then because I did my pizza crust in that colour, that's why I did it around the edge of that one and around the edge of that one. But I love the way it will stand up like that and close flat, and it does flat, so you can actually send that in the mail. Okay, so let me pop this card on one side and we will show you what I'm using. Now I'm using a new set out of the catalogue called Circle Sayings. I've done a little bit of the work, so I've stamped and cut out some of these cakes. I stamped this and Happy Birthday together on this thing and cut it out, and this bundle comes with a punch, which is a 2 3/8 of an inch punch. So these are only shown here on the front of the pack, 85%, so they're a lot bigger than what the picture is. So you can see that next to that there's the stamp and the thing. So I've done that one. There's my ones that I did and coloured and cut out there for the front of my card. Plus I did another one that with flowers here, and I put Smile on the front, so that's my front one. Okay, so let's pop these out of the way because we're going to need these for our other piece of work. So we're going to use the cake again, along with this piece here, which is this bit here, which I'm going to put above the cakes, and this one that says Because You're Awesome. So we're going to use those today, and we're going to colour some more things in. I'm also going to use some iridescent rhinestones, and I'm going to be stamping with Lemon Lolly and Bubble Bath, which are 2 new colours, and we need double-sided tape. Now I've got 2 lots of double-sided tape here because we need a narrower one and a thicker one, so we've got those and I've got them ready, as well as our wet glue. Okay, for all our pieces for our card, which is not really that much. Excuse me. Okay, we need 11 3/4 by 4 1/8 for our main card. For the front of our card, we need a layer that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and I'm not sure which side I'm going to use yet. I'm going to see when I get to that. But this is a beautiful paper, and this is a Eclectic Delight, Beautifully Eclectic, I think it's called. So this piece is 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. For our inner left side, we need a piece that measures 4.5 by 3 7/8 and 4 1/4 by 3 5/8. For our other side over here, we're going to need on our right side, we're going to need 2 pieces that measure 5 5/8 by 1 inch and 5 3/8 by 3/4 of an inch. And then for our mechanism, we need a piece that measures 10 inches by 1 5/8 and 1 3/4 by 5 1/8. So did I say that right? 10 inches by 1 5/8 and 1 3/4 by 5 1/8. Okay, so we're going to do all our scoring first. So let me pop all the rest of that out of the way. Okay, so let's bring in our scoreboard. Oh, my scoring tools are just up here too. And we're going to score our main card on the long side using the small end of our scoring tool at 5 7/8. So while we've got that there, we will fold it and burnish it so that that's done and dusted. Okay, so that's our card, and it's one that's going to open this way. You could do it this way. I'm not saying you couldn't. You could quite easily have a card like that and it opens like that with your design on it, but I'm doing mine the same as this one, which is in the landscape. Alright, so now we're going to score our, now this is called mechanism part 1 in my tutorial. So we're going to score mechanism part 1 first, and it's on the long side, and we're going to score this at 1 inch, 5 3/4 of an inch, 7 1/2 inches, 7 7/8 of an inch, and 9 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so that is 1, 5 3/4, 7 1/2, 7 7/8, and 9 5/8. That's mechanism part 1. This is mechanism part 2, and this piece is the 5 1/8 piece, and this is scored at 1/2 inch and 4 3/4 of an inch. That doesn't look like 1/2 inch that side. Let's do that way. So I've obviously, no, I've done that right. Why did I put that down there? It should have been 5 5/8 of an inch. Sorry. 1/2 inch and 4 5/8 of an inch. I wrote that down and then scribbled it out. So I've got that done. Let me just, oops, pop that back in there. Just mark that on there so I know what I'm doing off when I write. So it's 4 5/8. Okay. So we're going to actually start by putting our card front together. So I'm going to put my card front together like so. Now I think that might be just a little bit too busy. So I'm going to use that side, which is really gorgeous. Put my cakes on here like so. Or do I put them like that? Oh, I think we're going to put them like that. Alright, so let's move them out of the way. Let's glue these together and pop these on. That way we know our card front is done. Excuse me, I'm really getting sick and tired of this cough, I tell you. I've had it for about 6 weeks. I cannot seem to budge the cough. I think it's because it's been such cold weather here in Australia, and I'm just to the point where I'm just over it, really and truly over it. Okay, so let's pop them on there. Oops, that one was a bit out, wasn't it? And I actually stamped this one twice. That one really looked horrid. So I actually stamped it again on the other side. So let's pop them on there. I'll put a couple of small ones on that one. Around the edge there, because I've put it so close in the middle. Let's pop another one there. I don't like things that sag. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in the middle here, and then I'm going to pop my cakes like so. So let's pop that all on out of the way, then that piece is done. I won't do the putting the embellishments on yet, because I will wait until we're finished, because I don't want it to be up in the air when I'm doing other things. Oops, get off of there. Okay, so that's the front of my card except for the embellishments. So let's pop the card on one side, and we're going to get these two pieces here now. So what we need to do is, with our 1 inch side, we need to fold this as a valley fold. All the other folds are mountain folds. So mountain, 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 mountain. So let's fold all of those, making sure that they're nice and even on all sides, so that it stays nice and even. Okay, so we've got those like that. With this piece here, we're now going to fold this in half like so. And with our, I've got that one the wrong way round too, I think. I'm not sure. Let me look. Yes, I've got. That's, oh, where's my card? No, I've got that one the wrong way round. Yes, that one should go that way. But it will be the opposite to the rest of them. So this is mountain, 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 and that's a mountain as well. Oh dear. Okay, so we need to fold it in half like this, and so you've got the longest piece underneath, and we're going to pop some double-sided tape. Now you could use glue if you wanted to, but I'm just finding it easier to do this card with the double-sided tape. I did do it, and I found that it was just way too messy with the oh gosh, that broke off, didn't it? That wasn't very clever with the glue. I don't know what's happened there, but we'll put that away. So we're going to pop those on that side, and you really want to have the two pieces. Now with this folded in this way, we're going to pop another piece here, and we've got another piece on the top of this bit here, just this bit here. Okay, so that's our tape on these bits. Let me just trim that tiny bit off, because we don't want that to hang off the edge. And that bit too. Just trim that. Oop! Just trim that bit off. Okay, so this piece here, we're going to fold this as a mountain fold on both ends. And then we're going to open it up again, and we're going to pop some of this tape on both ends here. Oops, get out of the way. Sticking to my fingers today. My fingers are a bit on the dry side. Okay, so we've got those on there like so. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to bring this one in, and we're going to turn that under, and we're going to pop this into the middle here. Now, you can actually do this two ways. You can actually measure that, and it's actually 4 inches in this middle bit, 4 1/8 of an inch in this middle bit. So you need to put a mark at 2 1/16 of a mark. Alright, and then on this piece, which is 1 1/2 inches, I think, 1 3/4 inches. Yep. We're going to put a mark. Excuse me, I'm really not really doing well here. This is 1 5/8 of an inch, sorry. So we need to mark this at 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we need to mark this at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and, well, that's not in the middle. It was that side of it, you don't dingbat. That's it. Whew. Okay, so that will be at 1 7/8. Oh, I mean 7/8 of an inch. 7/8 of an inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop this tape off of this one. We are going to pop the tape off of this one, and we're going to turn that under so that it's underneath, and we're going to line that 7/8 mark up with the 4 1/16 mark, and we're going to bring it so that it's right on the edge here. Once we've done that, we're going to give that a nice burnish down, and we can open that up a set. I'm just going to actually run my finger along there because I have got funny kind of, that's better, that's it. Okay, so that's our piece. This is going to fold under like so. We're now going to bring back in our card. Now this might seem a bit weird. So you've done that bit. We can now remove that mark off of there. You can't see the other one. It's stuck underneath that piece. Excuse me. We're going to bring this into the middle of the card now. And we need to bring this edge with the two pieces of on it so that it is flush with that line there, and we need to bring it so that these lines, these score lines here, are flush with the top and the bottom of the card. So let's turn them in. Once they're turned in, we can then see that they are flush there and flush there. Once we know that that's flush like that, we can then carefully pull one of these off, holding it down tight at the same time. Bring one of them in and stick it down. Pull the other one out and stick that down underneath as well. Once we've done that, we can just put that down nice and tight. We can then pull this tape off of this end. Oh, that's right, that was the piece that broke in half, wasn't it? And we're then going to close this card over on top of it. Let's remove those bits so they're not in my way. My pin's on the floor down here. Okay, and when we open our card, as you can see, it will open flat. This piece is underneath. We have this one piece with that on the top. You can see that that's flush top and bottom. So we've popped that in. Okay. So now we're going to do our other pieces. Now this is the piece that's 4 1/4 by 3 7/8. Now the 3 7/8 is the width, and it's going to go in there so that it doesn't cover up any of this part of the mechanism. So that one's going to go on the top of it. So let's do our bit of stamping for this. So I'm going to stamp some more of these. Cakes. So I'm going to do a couple of cakes like that. Oops, I've got black ink on my finger now. That would be right. Okay, oh, where's my words? That's getting done in pink. Durr. Okay, so let me bring in the yellow lemon lolly first. And because I can't do much with that one at the top there, I'm just going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. Oh, is that scrap? Yes, that'll do. Just to pop some bright sparks above the two cakes. Let's bring in my bubble bath, And we're going to stamp Because You're Awesome into the middle. And then I'm going to get my Stampin' Right markers, and I have Lemon Lolly, and I keep pulling that end off, I don't know why, just for my cake here. So I'm going to colour my cake nice yellow colour. And then I'm going to colour the, I'm going to colour this one the opposite way around. So on this one I'm going to colour the top here with the, oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of it, Bubble Bath. So I've got a nice Bubble Bath cream on the top of my cakes. And then I will put the bottoms of my cake with this colour, which is Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to colour the cake patty pan, whatever it's called. I'll turn this around because it's just easier for me. Now I'm using my right markers because I don't need to do anything with that. I can actually just put a little bit extra down the sides here to give it that look of being round. Sorry you've had to watch me do this bit. You can always fast forward if you don't want to watch me colouring. I will not be offended, I will assure you, because I must admit if I watch people for too long colouring in, I actually do go past myself. Okay, so that's my colouring in done. I hope that wasn't too long if you did sit and watch. Okay, now let's pop this onto the back, which my glues, it's warm in here because I've got the heater on. It's sunny outside but freezing cold. Okay, so that's our piece of back that goes on this side. So this is a card where you actually write on the left hand side instead of the right hand side of the card. If you didn't want to write on that, you could always put a writing panel on the back of the card. That's an option. You can always just make this a nice pretty side as well to match. But I just think it's nice to be able to write inside a card. So I'm writing on my left hand side for this card. Okay, for my other side, I'm going to use this side of the paper. For this side, I'm going to pop them there and there. Okay, so I'm going to use the pretty flowers side this time, because there isn't anything much else on this side. Okay, so we've got those ready. Now this is the only part that you have to watch. When you're putting these pieces on, we don't want to impede this movement here because that's going to move back and forward. So we only need to put glue on about, if we turn this over like this and pop it in here, we can just mark it with a pencil that we don't want to go past those marks for the glue. Okay, so we'll pop our glue on this piece, which is about just over an inch, I guess, But no, don't go into that middle section, whatever you do. If you do that, you will find that your mechanism will not run nicely. So I've done that one, and we will do the same on this one. Now, when I made my other one, I just guessed it. I just put like about an inch of glue on each side. But for this one, I thought I would show you just so that if you wanted to, you know, put it so that you could measure it, that was the way to measure it. And that way you know that that's going to fold down, and it's not going to come out the end of the card either. Alright, so now we're going to pop this piece off in the middle, because I've actually stamped that middle section. Come on, come off. There we go. So I've already stamped this middle bit, and this again, as long as it doesn't come out of the tops, or when it's laying flat down like this, it pops out the side. It can be any size you like. So, but I'm popping that one in the middle there, oops, like so. And then I'm just going to press across so that it's nice and firmly put inside, and it will close down nicely like that. So when our card opens, it pops up. Alright, I'm going to pop a ribbon bow on the bottom of this one. So I just think it needs something more. So I just didn't want to do that beforehand because I wasn't sure, but I think it definitely needs the ribbon bow on it. Let's start again. I'm going to put a ribbon bow on the bottom of this one. So I'm making my ribbon bow. Well, I am, if I can get that to go over there and underneath that. So once I've done that, I will then chop that off there. I will then cut my bottoms off. So that, come on. Oh, come on, I nearly threw the ribbon in the bin. That would have been really smart, wouldn't it? So I have some dots here. Where are they? Here we go. So let's pop some dots on this. I'm going to put a couple of dots at the bottom here. Well, I am if they're going to stick to it, but that one didn't want to stick to it, did it? One. Get off my finger and stick to the paper. Come on. Two. There we go. So I'm going to glue my little bow into place there. I'm not worried that that sticks over the end because it's not going to show. Okay, what did I do with my... There they are, these bits. So I'm going to pop in some nice... I'll use the middle size, I think, of these. Oh, come on. I've got glue all over my fingers again. I'm going to pop some in the middle here. Like so. And I think that's all I want to do. So what do you think? It's a nice card. It's a pop-up, excuse me, pop-up slider card. Slides open. Nice place to write on that side. Remembering you only want to put glue at the ends of these pieces because you don't want to impede this movement of this piece in the middle. If you didn't want to do that, you can always put a writing panel on the back. So that's my card for today. If you'd like the written tutorial for this, please head over to Di's Den for stamping, crafting and tutorials. You'll find the link down below here. I just think it's sweet. It's different. And I enjoyed making it. I really did enjoy making it. And I enjoyed making this one especially because I did that for my colour creation. But I love it in these pinks. If you've enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my tutorials. And if you leave me a message. I always answer. Might be not the same day, but it will be within a few days, depending on what I've got going on in my life at the time. So if you like that, I will see you again next week. Bye for now.